federal government says it will soon make a pronouncement on salary increase for civil servants as we enter the new year. The annual CALABAR Bikers Carnival ends in tragedy. Governor AYADE directs the immediate discontinuation of the Bikers Parade in honor of the victims of the accident. U.S. considers restrictions on Chinese arrivals as China relaxed restrictions. And in sports, TAIWO ESEPOR AGBAJE wins the World Boxing Federation Intercontinental Featherweight title at GOTV Boxing Night with 1.5 million naira cash. And this is MLC TV News Hour, reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the confluent state of Nigeria. I am Mono Balagubu. Thanks for joining us. The federal government says it will soon make a pronouncement on salary increase for civil servants to meet up with the economic realities in the country occasioned by inflation. Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, made this known while fielding questions from State House correspondents in Abuja. The minister said already the Presidential Committee on Salaries had embarked on a review of salaries of workers in the country. According to him, the committee is expected to come up with salary adjustment in 2023. The minister had recently hinted that the government would adjust workers' salaries to cushion the effect of rising costs of living in the country. On whether a timeline has been fixed for the implementation of new salary increase, Ngige said as they enter the new year, government will make some pronouncements in that direction. Ngige described 2022 as a year of industrial dispute. According to him, in the private sector, employers had managed their affairs better, saying this may be due to efficient management of their finances. He added that the management could also do collective bargaining very easily with their workers. Following reported cases of the resurgence of Ebola and other communicable diseases, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has tightened its disease surveillance system in order to minimize its impact on the territory. The director of the FCT Public Health Department, Dr. Sadiq Abdul Rahman, revealed this while briefing the media in Abuja on the readiness and the response of the FCTA health sector. As a result, staff of the Epidemiological Division of the Public Health Department have been placed on red alert under the supervision of the FCT Health and Human Services Secretariat. According to Sadiq, the FCT is on a high alert mode, though it is yet to witness any serious outbreak of the disease within the year ending. He added that there was a periodic or weekly review done in conjunction with partners of the administration like the World Health Organization, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Disease Surveillance, and notification officers who were key foot soldiers at the area council's level. Sadiq also said the FCTA had purchased commodities to contain the diseases, particularly in areas of the territory mostly affected by the outbreak, including Amak, Kuje, and Wari. The Stand Up for the Women's Society has condemned the killing of barrister Omobolanle Rahim by a police officer. The national president of the SWS, Barrister Deborah Ijadele Adetona, through a press release made public by the National Public Relations, Billy Uwogu said the young woman was also a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, was a learned colleague, and it was unfortunate that the police officer that is supposed to protect life now took life on flimsy excuses. Ijadele Adetona called on the Inspector General of Police, Alkali Baba, to make sure the killer gets appropriate punishment and to ensure the family of the deceased also gets compensated adequately, even though life cannot be returned to the dead. She therefore called on the Nigerian President and Chief of Security to train security officers like police on how to handle guns, saying it has become a common occurrence for police to kill and blame it on the accidental discharge of arms. This is unprofessional and should be condemned by all relevant quarters. Adetona said the young woman who was pregnant met her untimely death due to nonchalant attitude of a police officer whose primary assignment is to make sure people are protected. What is happening to our nation, she said. She also called on the government to punish the killer, which will serve as a deterrent to others. Enough is enough, she added. National Chairman of the New Nigerian People Party, NNPP, Professor Ahmed Al-Kali, has joined other well-meaning Nigerians to condemn the gruesome murder of a Lagos-based lawyer, Barrister Omobolanle Rahim, by a trigger-happy policeman. In a statement made available to the media, Al-Kali urged the relevant authorities to conduct a proper investigation to unravel the cause of incident. Earlier, National President of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Chris Isuguzo, had called for proper training of the police on weapon handling to avoid the constant killing of innocent Nigerians. Other Nigerians who condemned the killing include the presidential candidates of the All Progressive Congress, People's Democratic Party, as well as that of the Labour Party. 7 die in Calabar Carnival tragedy. AYADE orders probe the Federal Road Safety Corps and has confirmed 7 persons dead and 29 injured in an accident that occurred during the annual Calabar Carnival on Tuesday. The sector commander of the corps, Maikano Hassan, confirmed the casualty figure to journalists. He said the accident occurred in front of the Jumat Mosque in Bogobiri in the capital city of Cross River during the bikers parade activity of the carnival. Hassan listed the number of injured to include 21 male adults, 3 women, 2 male children, 3 female children. He said the injured were rushed to the Naval Hospital and the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital for medical attention. He added that the remains of the dead had been disposed in the 2 hospitals in Calabar. According to him, the incident occurred when a Toyota Camry car lost control and rammed into a crowd of onlookers during the carnival. The state governor, Professor Ben AYADE, in a statement by his special advisor on media, Christian Ita, directed security agencies to apprehend the motorist who was on the run. While sympathizing with the victims of the accident and their families, the governor ordered an immediate investigation to unravel how the motorist beat security barricades to have access to the routes which were closed to the public. It has said the governor also directed the immediate discontinuation of the bikers' parade in honor of the victims of the accident. And now to stories in politics. Peter Obi picks Obasanjo's ex-aide as Okupe's replacement. The Labour Party has appointed former political advisor to President Olusegun Obasanjo, Akin Oshutokun, as the new Director General of its presidential campaign. This was confirmed by the party's national chairman, Julius Abure, in Abuja on Tuesday. According to Abure, the decision was reached after comprehensive consultations with party stakeholders across the board. Oshutokun will now replace Doyin Okupe, who resigned from the position last week. Okupe stepped down from the position following a federal high court judgment which convicted him of money laundering. We're now going on a short break. We'll be right back. Please do stay with us. Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. Glad to know you're still with us, and now we continue on the foreign scene. The United States is considering imposing new COVID restrictions on Chinese arrivals after Beijing announced it will reopen its borders next month. American officials say this is due to a lack of transparency surrounding the virus in China as cases surge. Beijing has said COVID rules should be brought in on a scientific basis. India is also stepping up measures for Chinese arrivals, but this was announced before Beijing said it would relax its strict border policy. Passport applications for Chinese citizens wishing to travel internationally will resume from the 8th of January, the country's immigration authorities said. Travel sites have reported a spike in traffic, leaving some countries fearful over the potential spread of COVID. Wang Webin, Chinese Foreign Minister spokesperson, subsequently accused Western countries and the media of hyping up and distorting China's COVID policy adjustments. He said China believed all countries' COVID responses should be science-based and proportionate and should not affect normal people-to-people exchange. Wang called for joint efforts to ensure safe cross-border travel, maintain stability of global industrial supply chains, and promote economic recovery and growth. The UK and Germany each said they are monitoring the situation closely but are not currently considering new restrictions for Chinese travelers. 13-year-old Nika Selivanova made a heart shape with both her hands, waving goodbye to her best friend Ina, who was pressed up against the glass partition that divided the entrance hall of Casson's train station from the waiting area. Moments earlier, they'd hugged, tears welling up in their eyes. Ina had kissed Asia and a tan dachshund dog wrapped up in a warm blanket carried by Nika in her arms. The girls didn't know when they might see each other again. Nika's family was leaving Kherson not sure of where they would end up eventually. For now, they were heading to the western city of Kelinsky, hoping they would get some help there. The past few days in Kherson had simply been too much for Nika's mother, Elena. Before day, Russian forces shelled them 7 to 10 times a day. Now it is 70 to 8 times all day long. It's too scary. She added, saying, "I love Ukraine and my dear city, but we have to go." Elena and her 3 daughters are amongst more than 400 people who have left Kherson since Christmas Day after a sharp increase in the intensity of the bombardment of the city by the Russian military. Elena left by train in an evacuation facilitated by the Ukrainian government. Hundreds of people are leaving on their own, a queue of cars building up at the checkpoint leading out of Kherson filled with terrified civilians. Irina Antonoko was in tears when they walked up to her car to speak to her. They can't take it anymore. The shelling was so intense. They stayed this whole time and thought it would pass and that they would be lucky, but a strike hit the house next to theirs and their father's home was also shelled. She planned to travel to Kerivri, a city in central Ukraine where she has family. Newly elected Republican Congressman George Santos has apologized after admitting he lied about his education and work experience. Santos, who was elected in New York, told the New York Post his sins were embellishing his resume and that he's sorry. He insisted he was not a criminal and said that the controversy would not deter him from serving his 2-year term in Congress. The allegation was first made in a New York Times report last week. At the time, a lawyer for Santos hit back at the claims that he misrepresented where he went to college and his alleged employment history, describing them as defamatory and a shotgun blast of attacks. He said during his campaign that he had worked at a high-profile Wall Street firm, Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. But Santos told the New York Post he had never worked directly for either firm, admitting it was a poor choice of words. The 34-year-old said he actually worked at a company called Linkbridge as vice president, where he did businesses with both of the financial giants. He also admitted that he did not go to college, despite previously claiming to have received a degree from New York City's Baruch College in 2010. He said he didn't graduate from any institution of higher learning. He declared he is embarrassed and sorry for having embellished his resume. And in sports news, in a shocking video posted by Galout official on YouTube, Brazil legend Pelé seems to be slowly losing the battle against cancer as he faintly says goodbye to family and friends. The condition of the three-time world champion had deteriorated as he was seen struggling to breathe in the video, which went viral. The 82-year-old, who had a tumor removed from his colon in September 2021, was admitted to the hospital Israelita Albert Einstein in Sao Paulo on November 29, 2022, and recently spent Christmas Day there. As his condition worsens, family members gathered in the hospital to stay with him, with his daughter vowing to stick by his side as the Brazil great receives care in the hospital after his cancer progressed. However, in the posted video tagged "Pele says goodbye to family and friends from the hospital bed," the legend was recorded faintly passing a message. Reigning West African Boxing Union featherweight champion TAIWO AGBAJE on Monday claimed the World Boxing Federation Intercontinental featherweight title at GOTV Boxing Night 27. AGBAJE defeated his Filipino opponent Richard Taruk by a technical knockout in the 7th round to emerge champion. His fine display earned him his 4th Mojisola Ogunsanya Memorial Trophy for the best boxer, along with the cash prize of 1.5 million naira attached to it. The Boxing Day show, which held at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos, also featured 5 other explosive bouts. National super lightweight champion Adeyemi Spirit Adekunle defeated the bullish Bartolomeo Abuchi by unanimous decision to retain his belt and extend his unbeaten streak to 10 bouts, while Sikiru Omo Iya Eleja Shogbason ended Sadiq Oyakojo's reign as the national super featherweight champion by another unanimous decision. The bantamweight duel between Opeyemi Golden Boy Ibrahim and Sadiq Happy Boy Adeleke ended in Adeleke's favor, also by unanimous decision, while Michael Adesodun knocked out Idris Aloma in the 4th round of the national super featherweight bout. In the national middleweight female match, Abosede Akinsoya gave debutant Sefiat Latif a night to forget by ending her debut with a 2nd round technical knockout. The event, sponsored by GOTV and refreshed by Super Commando, also saw thrilling musical performances from Afrobeat superstars Ruga and Nice, as well as DJ Exclusive and Chinko Ekun. Premier League matches played Tuesday night saw Chelsea, whose poor run before the World Cup break came stronger, to defeat Bournemouth 2-0 at Stamford Bridge, while Manchester United defeated Nottingham Forest by 3-0 at Old Trafford. Meanwhile, the defending champion Manchester City will play Leeds United Wednesday night. A win for the champions will see them occupy the 2nd spot on the table. And on to entertainment news, we now join Joy Dada for the update.
Actor and comedian John Bell has died aged 86, his representatives has confirmed. Bell was part of the TV satire boom of the 1960s and well known for his many appearances opposite John Fortune. The pair memorably appeared alongside Rolly Bremner in the Channel 4 TV series Bremner, Bed and Fortune. Co-star Bremner laid the attribute to Bell, telling the BBC his former co-star had this brilliant instinct for absurdity and the sharpest of mind. He was so modest for someone who so often played these characters, who were so complacent and self-aggrandizing. Bremner told Radio 4's The World at One he was at the forefront of the satire boom and had the most wonderful of minds and was the most modest of people. He was amazing. Bremner, Bed and Fortune ran for 16 series, as well as one-off specials between 1999 and 2008, and was nominated for several BAFTA TV awards. In one of Bed and Fortune's most famous recurring sketches, known as the Long Johns. One of the two Johns, either Bird of Fortune, will portray a senior figure from public life, be interviewed by the other John. In the set piece, the fictional businessman, government consultant, or bubbling politician, who always went by the name of George Parr, will be skilled by increasingly experienced interviewer. During an appearance on Desert Island Disc in 2004, Fortune said it has been very difficult to keep a straight face. During his and Bird's many likely improvised two-handers. In a statement released earlier, Bremner called seeing Bird and fellow star John Fortune working together the highlight of his life, and he will marvel at the genius of it all. He added it was striking. Bird had died on Christmas Eve, 9 years almost to the day after Fortune, who died on New Year Eve in 2013, aged 74. Lord knows, Satya has missed them this last decade, and now that loss is permanent, said Bremner. A statement announcing Bird's death said he died peacefully at Pendian Care Home. A family funeral is expected to be followed by a celebration of his life in the new year. And that is all on our entertainment news today. I am Joy Dada reporting for MLC TV.
Thank you for that update, and that is the size of our package today. Do join us tomorrow at this same hour to watch our news as we give you updates and happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachite TV, and like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV, Instagram MLC TV 2021, and Twitter at MLC TV 1. For event coverage, information, contribution, adverts, and sponsorship, please call any of our numbers displayed on your screen. It's Malachite TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone. I am Mono Balagbobo. Thank you for watching and have a good day.